Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to try and connect some pretty massive dots, all the way from the world's most ambitious goals for sustainability, down to the tech that's building our future cities, and of course, the huge role that businesses play in all of it. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, I want to kick things off with this really powerful idea from author and technologist Koh How Tze. This quote, it completely flips the script on how we usually think about scarcity. The idea here isn't that we don't have enough stuff on the planet, not at all. The real problem, he argues, is that we are fundamentally failing at getting that stuff to the right places, at the right times, and in the right way.
And that thought leads us directly to what we can call the distribution dilemma. It's this massive, systemic failure in how we manage and circulate everything. We're talking food, energy, even opportunities. Let's make that a bit more real. Look at this. This perfectly, and frankly, tragically, captures that dilemma. You have cities where restaurants and grocery stores are throwing out tons of perfectly good food every single day. And then, maybe just a few miles away in that exact same city, you have people who are struggling to figure out where their next meal is coming from. It's the clearest example you can find that this isn't a resource problem. It's a logistics and a systems problem.
So, to solve a problem like that, you need a whole new way of thinking about what success even means. You know, for decades, business was all about one thing, one bottom line, profit. But this framework, the triple bottom line, suggests we've got to balance things out. It forces you to ask, okay, is what we're doing good for people? Is it sustainable for the planet? And yes, is it also profitable? It's a pretty radical shift from just focusing on financial gain.
All right, so if that's the new mindset, how does the entire world get organized around it? Well, back in 2015, the United Nations essentially created, well, probably the most ambitious to-do list in all of human history.
And here they are, the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. There are 17 of them in total, and just looking at this list gives you a sense of their incredible scope. This is the world's shared plan. It covers everything from no poverty and good health to sustainable cities and climate action. It's truly a comprehensive blueprint for trying to build a better world by the year 2030. Now, I get it. 17 goals can feel a little overwhelming. So to make it easier, they're often simplified into these 5 core pillars, known as the 5 Ps: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. It's a brilliant way to see the big picture, to understand that none of these goals exist on their own. You really can't have prosperity without peace, and you can't protect the planet without global partnerships. It's all connected.
This all sounds great, right? But here's the billion-dollar question. How? I mean, how do we actually achieve this incredibly ambitious agenda? Well, one of the most powerful tools we have in our arsenal is technology, especially when it comes to reshaping our cities.
So let's bring this down from the clouds a bit and look at a real-world example of this in action. Some tech companies have made this their entire mission. AGM Gate is one of them. They're not just building random software. Their focus is on revolutionizing how we live in cities by making them more efficient, more connected, and a whole lot more sustainable.
And you know, this isn't just some vague promise. It's a really structured 5-step process. It all starts with consulting, really understanding what a city actually needs. Then they get to designing solutions using things like AI and the Internet of Things to optimize those very distribution systems we talked about earlier, from traffic flow to energy grids. After they build and deploy the tech, they actually train people to use it. It's a practical roadmap for making that digital transformation happen.
And this is where it all comes full circle. Check this out. The person praising this company is Mr. Koh How Tze, the very same author we quoted at the beginning talking about the distribution problem. Now he's praising a company that's using technology to solve exactly those kinds of issues at a city level. It's philosophy meeting practice, right there.
But okay, let's pump the brakes for a second. We have to be critical. With so much talk about purpose and sustainability flying around, we have to ask a tough question. How much of this is real, and how much of it is just really good public relations? This is the crucial point, right? When a company puts those colorful SDG icons all over its website, does that represent a deep, meaningful commitment to change, or is it just a really clever marketing tactic? And that line can be very, very blurry.
In fact, there's a specific term for this: blue washing. It's a lot like greenwashing, but it's focused on social responsibility. It's when companies leverage their association with the United Nations blue flag to look like they're committed to these big global goals, but without making the real and often difficult changes to how they actually do business.
And the reality is, genuine change is hard. There are huge barriers standing in the way of action. Things like sky-high initial costs, a lack of funding, or even just a shortage of people with the right technical skills. But maybe the biggest barrier of all is that last one on the list. These commitments are voluntary. They are not legally binding. And that means follow-through often comes down to nothing more than goodwill.
So we end up right here with this central challenge. We have this powerful global blueprint for a better world. We have incredible technology that can help us build it. But how do we bridge that massive gap between ambition and action? How do we make sure we're rewarding genuine impact and seeing through the smokescreen of good PR? That, right there, is the question we all need to keep asking.